See the burning just up ahead, and this is from a FPV drone.
That is a Russian drone caught in the nets to stop this from happening. This just happened in Ukraine's fortress belt, a tiny strip of land Putin is obsessed with taking. Russian forces are closing in and destroying the city. I came here to show you what that actually looks like. What the battlefield outside the city looks like. And for the first time, take you inside the last power station keeping the lights on as the battle gets closer every day.
So right now, we're driving directly towards a place where fighting is most intense in Ukraine. It's a tiny strip of land that Putin is obsessed with taking right now. It's called Donbas, and just 10% is left. And that 10% is called the Fortress Belt. And right now, Russia are throwing everything they can at taking this place. 30,000 North Koreans, a brand new mobilization, all centered on stealing this strip of land. And the center of that Fortress Belt is a city called Kramatorsk. I've been going there for 3.5 years, and this could be one of the last times I could actually see the city myself before a Bakhmut-style battle for that city begin. And right now, it's extremely dangerous. The entire city is now covered in FPV nets, and that is because drones fill the sky. And the danger doesn't just start at Kramatorsk. Just 30 seconds before we were pulling over at a gas station on this road, it burst into flames, hit by an FPV. I just pulled over at the side of the road, and it was engulfed in flames. And that is because the Russians are trying to cut off all supply lines to this city, obliterate everything before it can get to Kramatorsk. And to top it all off, the car that was supposed to pick me up last night to take me to this city got hit by a drone. It flipped, looked like this. And that car was owned by power station workers. Because in this film, I've just been given an unbelievable insight into the last power station powering the entire fortress belt. There's just one left, and the Russians are desperate to destroy it. It's probably the #1 target in the entire city. But on this trip, I want to go to show you what it looks like. And I'm not just going to go for an hour, I'm going to stay there overnight. So the second we get into Kramatorsk, I'm going to meet my friend April. She's a combat medic for the 93rd. And we're going to see how the city that Putin is most obsessed with taking looks right now in August 2026.
Drive straight through the center of Kramatorsk. I wanted to record these streets while you still can. Almost every single building has been hit by something. The windows gone, roofs torn off, and shops boarded up. And it's getting worse every single hour. The strange thing about filming here is that by the time you watch this, even a week from now, this is going to look totally different. And that's because Russia is pushing closer. And every single day, more of its drones fill the skies above these streets. They post the footage themselves, crystal clear FPV feeds flying right through roads exactly like this, chasing cars, hitting anything that moves. A drone explodes meters from our car.
What was that?
That was probably an FPV, I guess.
Have you heard that before, that loud?
No.
Could there be a double tap?
Possibly.
That was like a full-blown pressure wave.
Mm-hmm.
How close do you think that was?
100 meters?
100 meters away.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere in here.
I mean, I guess you're used to it.
No, I mean, it still sucks every time. It like shakes you, you know, because you like, Jesus Christ.
What they have done in Kherson, they have fully rolled out here. Like, it's not like, oh, they're starting the same tactic. It's like fully here. That was the template. It's rolled out. It's here.
Yeah.
And we're going to be seeing it. I think we talked about this last night in Kharkiv as well, right?
That's exactly.
Very soon, driving like this will be impossible here in Kramatorsk. When I first arrived, I genuinely thought drones were what scared people here the most. But it's not. It's these. Russia is dropping enormous glide bombs in the city right now. Old Soviet cabs fitted with wings and guidance released from aircraft. Some of these weigh up to 3 tons, and you don't see them coming, and then this happens. One landed right in the middle of this cross section, and this can happen anywhere.
This is like the most iconic market in all of the Fortress Belt. A lot of these businesses finally closed because it has really become very dangerous to have a lot of people together.
The market has been hit constantly in the last few months. Now it's almost totally deserted. It was one of the busiest places in the town, and just 2 minutes down the road was one of the busiest supermarkets.
This was just a few weeks ago, and this place was full of civilians. It was on the 4th of July, while America was celebrating Independence Day. This is what the Russians did to civilians here.
Now almost every single street in this city is covered in these nets.
I'll get out of here in a second, but that shows you why these nets are so important. You can see that right there.
For For years, Kramatorsk was a place that people escaped to from towns closer to the fighting, but now people are being evacuated from Kramatorsk, and that tells you almost everything. Drive just 5 miles down this way and you get to Druskivka. Getting there now is almost impossible. This is what it looks like now. But this city, like all the others in Donbas, was full of life. In the 1890s, French industrialists came here and built one of the greatest steelworks of Donbas. They built houses for workers, a theatre, a stadium, including this church. They even brought trees here from France. And they left behind a French cemetery where some of the European workers who built this city are still buried. More than a century later, that world is disappearing again. There's something here that definitely wasn't here before. Robots. They're everywhere now, carrying ammo, bringing in supplies, taking wounded soldiers out. And the closer you get to the front, the fewer people you see, and the more machines start taking their place. And it's happening ridiculously fast. Just look at this. It's an FPV chasing another FPV, a drone hunting a drone. And this is where things start getting really interesting. Because when the Russians push closer to Kramatorsk, what does that battle actually look like? It might not be thousands of soldiers running through the streets like we saw in Bakhmut. It could be robots, ground drones fighting ground drones, FPV hunting FPVs, swarms trying to kill other swarms. Which means Kramatorsk could become one of the first places on Earth where we see a battle fought to a huge extent, machine versus machine. And that future isn't 10 years away. You're looking at the beginning of it right now. The thing that stands out the most in Kramatorsk isn't the damage that's already happened. It's the damage everyone here knows is coming. Everywhere you look, the city is preparing. Dragon's teeth, barbed wire, concrete barricades. Things you'd expect to see on a battlefield are now sitting outside cafes, bus stops, on streets. People are still walking home from work. And that is what makes this city feel so strange. The battle hasn't reached these streets yet. It feels like a city waiting for the storm. And before the sun goes down, we stop at one of the last places here that's still open. Within minutes of sitting down for dinner, an aerial bomb lands nearby.
Can you hear that? Whoa.
And it shows that there's nowhere in peace in Kramatorsk.
So you just heard that was very likely an aerial bomb. You could hear the sound of it cruising through the air, slicing through the air. And then the really deep boom. And they can be up to 3,000 kilograms, 3 tons. And they've just been firing them into the city non-stop. I've always come to report here in Kramatorsk about the resilience of the city, about how it keeps building back, coming back, despite everything. And honestly, this feels like the first time I've really come back, wondering when the last time might actually be. Because there's only so many times you can rebuild a city that gets destroyed over and over and over again. And there's one thing that I can't stop thinking about. Those 3 years ago when I was first here, I was in Siversk, which is a town not that far in this direction, east from here.
Caolan with me, you guys following?
That's well far behind the front lines now. And the Russians right now are coming towards this city. And you can feel it. You can hear it and you can feel that. You can feel them coming closer. They've just taken Konstantinivka, and I know there are information wars right now about who really has this city, which flag has just been flown, which flag's just been taken down. But the same thing happened in Bakhmut, and we all know who's in Bakhmut now. The same thing happened in Pokrovsk, and the Russians are in Pokrovsk. And I can't help but thinking about those two cities and thinking about Konstantinivka, which looks like it has the same fate. And you know, I'm driving around today and we were just walking past new defense lines, not just trenches, but barbed wire and dragon's teeth right here in the center of the city. And that tells you one thing. It shows that they're preparing for a battle, and that will be the battle of this city. just like Bakhmut, just like Konstantinivka. And before they do that, the Russians will do what they do to every other city, and that's try and turn it to rubble. And it's strange to see. This city was, I keep thinking back to 2023 when I was first here, with John Sweeney and Paul Conroy shooting Under Deadly Skies when I was at Byline. And I used to take refuge in Ria, the restaurant down the road that's gone. And there was a burger place down the road that's gone. And everywhere we used to go are gone slowly. And this was a place that civilians used to be evacuated from Bakhmut, from further back. This was the refuge. And now it's the place people are being evacuated from. And that says a lot.
As darkness falls, we're told to wait at the side of the road. A worker from Kramatorsk power station is coming to collect us. When he arrives, we've got seconds to get everything into the car.
We need to be fast.
His colleagues have repeatedly been targeted on these roads by Russian FPVs.
How far is it?
Як ти, наскільки це далеко?
Та рядышком.
Що?
Рядом.
Рядом, а це...
Мне вчера просто ну прям над головой взорвался.
Да, ми бачили, це ота, яка там
висить,
висить
да.
далі. Okay, now we need to pick all of the stuff from here.
Cool. Shit, that's all together. Thank you so much, Jack.
This is one of the spookiest places in Donbas.
For thousands of people still living in Donbas, it all comes back to this room. And what you're looking at is incredibly rare. Almost nothing has been filmed here for years. And it's enormous, almost completely silent. Just this low, constant hum of machinery, keeping an entire city alive. So all these windows have been destroyed with drones.
Yes.
And then, every so often, you hear something else. An explosion outside. FPVs are constantly buzzing around the station, hitting the walls, looking for the machinery inside. Looking for this room. And standing here, surrounded by all this, there's one thought that's impossible to shake. How much longer is this room going to exist? And how much longer will these machines keep humming while thousands rely on that sound?
Look, there's the Kramatorsk sign.
This place is older than my grandma.
1937. That is when this station was built. Kramatorsk was becoming one of the great industrial cities of the Donbas. Factories were growing, thousands of people arrived here to work, and they needed power, so they built this. And then came the war. When Nazi Germany reached Kramatorsk, the station was evacuated. What remained was badly damaged, but by the end of the war, much of this place was gone. But they rebuilt it. Through the 1950s, it grew, then again in the 1970s, new turbines, new boilers, more power. And around it, Kramatorsk grew too, into a vibrant city. The Soviet Union came and went. Generations of workers came through these doors. The machines changed, the city changed, but the station kept running. And now, almost 90 years after it first opened, war has found it again. Most of the station is gone. But somewhere inside all this, the old machinery is still turning. The lights are still glowing, and the workers, they're still here. The last time war destroyed this place, they rebuilt it. This time, well, this war isn't over yet. We head up to the control room to meet the workers on the night shift. This is one of the most exposed parts of the station. High up in the building, close to the roof, with almost nothing between the people inside and whatever's flying overhead.
Holy shit. So what is this room?
This is a shield.
So we're pretty high up, so it's kind of dangerous up here, I guess.
Yeah, actually, you can see this.
FPVs have been crashing through the roof here, and yet every morning these workers come back into the same building beneath the same roof to keep the lights on for everyone else.
Is this the most important room in Kramatorsk right now?
Ну, можно сказать так.
He would say yes.
What is your main motivation?
Эта работа помогла мне пережить там некоторые моменты, ну, психологические, потому что я чувствую себя нужным. И как бы это причина, почему я, как смысл жизни.
What's your favorite thing about Kramatorsk?
Краматорск.
This station used to generate 150 megawatts, feeding into the enormous power grid that connected the industrial cities of Donbas, places like Bakhmut and Donetsk. This was once a vast interconnected system. War has torn that network apart, and now the station's left here, keeping Kramatorsk alive itself.
But because Kramatorsk becomes literally like the last city on the front line, it supplies only itself, basically. Like it used to supply, for instance, other cities.
Like Bakhmut and everything.
Yeah, but like now it's all gone. The tech are the last ones usually to leave the city. Once they pack, it's gone.
The energy workers are usually the last to leave when everything else is shut down. And that's the moment you know that there's nothing left. And in the last few weeks, the Russians have hit this power station dozens of times. The drone detector starts beeping. That means there could be an FPV somewhere very close to the station. We head downstairs and wait for it to pass. Right now, it's curfew, so there's nowhere to go. And it's an eerie feeling, being trapped, knowing that somewhere just beyond these walls, something's flying around that could hit at any moment. The explosions outside get louder, and eventually the workers tell me there's somewhere safer to go. It's a Cold War bunker. But the problem is, it's 3 minutes away. And outside, we can already hear buzzing. So, there's two choices. Stay inside the biggest target in the city and hope for the best, or step outside into the darkness. Phones off, torch on the ground, and as we creep across to the bunker, I look up and see something I always see on the front lines of Ukraine, and that's no light pollution. Just stars right above us. Stars, darkness, and sometimes a drone.
I think, like, when people see the interviews... Drone. What is it?
Так.
Ти? Назад вертаємося?
Okay.
It's left.
You sure?
I'm translating. Yeah, but we need to go fast.
The drone passes and we keep going. We reach the bunker. It's built during the Cold War by the Soviet Union to protect workers here from the possibility of war. And decades later, these same tunnels are being used to shelter from the war launched by Russia.
Взагалі станція була введена в експлуатацію в 1937 році. Тому от скільки вже років пройшло, а бомбосховище ще працює.
As we sit underground making tea and looking at these walls, there's something impossible to ignore. This shelter was built by the Soviet Union for a war it feared might one day come. That country disappeared, that ideology disappeared, generations passed, but the concrete remained. And tonight, Ukrainians are sleeping inside it because Russia is destroying the world that grew from its ruins. And maybe that's the strange lesson of this place. Empires spend generations building monuments to their own permanence. But in the end, sometimes the only thing that survives them is a shelter for the people trying to survive what they became.
Why was it important for you to spend your time showing us around?
Та що можу сказати? Скоріше все це закінчилося.
The next morning, we wake up to two sounds, birds and explosions in the distance. Because beyond Kramatorsk, the battle for Donbas is raging. And this morning, there's a video going viral. A Russian assault column moving towards this city until one by one, FPVs tear it apart. And this is what the battlefield has become. You don't need to see the enemy anymore. You don't even need to be anywhere near them. The drones own the sky. But getting close enough to see the war for yourself will almost certainly get you killed. So today, I've been invited to a top secret location with Magyar's birds. They've invited me inside their latest training exercise, the final test that their crews undergo before they get deployed. They're taking the lessons that they learn at the front every single day and bringing them right here. There's drones overhead, mines on the sides of the roads, vehicles disabled, but it's designed to show what Ukrainian soldiers are encountering right now. So, if you want to understand what the front line looks like in Ukraine in 2026, then this is as close as you can get.
You can see the drone. You're a lucky girl.
There's something so strange about seeing yourself through the lens of an FPV in Ukraine, because this is the last view so many soldiers on this front have seen. Everything in this exercise is being watched from above, because that is how the battlefield looks now. Reconnaissance drones find you, FPVs hunt you, and both sides are doing exactly the same thing. So if you want to know what the battlefield beyond Kramatorsk looks like right now, it looks like this. On the way back to the power station, we pass another FPV strike.
So there's a huge burning just up ahead, and this is from a FPV drone just targeting, it looks like a civilian home. I don't want to go much closer because it could be a secondary explosion, but this has just happened a minute ago. And look, this isn't a military target. Every single day in Ukraine, there's another strike against a home, against a hospital, against a gas station, against something like this. Look, you can see the burning just up ahead.
Back at the power station, I meet the director, Roman. He was supposed to pick me up at the beginning of this film in Izium, but his car was hit by a drone.
The car that was supposed to pick us up, it was on its way and it got blown up by the drone called Ždun. It just waiting in the ground, and Roman was going on a big speed and his car became this.
How would you describe the incident?
Швидкість, вибух, вогонь, кров.
That was our ride.
Oh, so it came from under. Why did you go under? That's unusual.
We call it Žduns.
Ždun means waiting drone. Instead of hunting from the sky, it lands on the road. It goes dormant and it waits, some up to 14 days, preserving their battery. Then a vehicle approaches and it wakes up.
Okay, we made it in one piece, and right now we're going to see rest of the CHP unit.
We head inside, where workers are meeting to discuss last night's strikes. Right now, the city has no power, and for Roman, the pressure is starting to show. He was right there yesterday in the aftermath of the strikes.
Ну, дай Бог, сьогодні відновимо електропостачання і побачити мою посмішку. Це значить, що черговий раз надавали защику русским.
What motivates you personally to keep working?
На життя людей. Поки ми тут стоїмо, вони там живуть. Саме найстрашніше я вже про себе пережив.
What is your hope for the future?
Можу сказати тільки на сьогодні, тому що вчора у нас вже нема, а завтра ще нема. І життя вимірюється одним днем.
Roman's engineers have been working for hours this morning to get the city back online, and he's just got a text message.
It's on. The power is on.
It just happened.
Що? Мурашки?
Результат.
Is it goosebumps?
Тут мурашки по тілу, да? Yes. The goosebumps.
Before I leave, I meet one last worker. They call him Lucky. 30 years at this station, and through strike after strike, somehow the explosions always seem to find the place he's just left. The workers joke that if you want to survive a strike here, just stay close to Lucky. So naturally, before I leave, I go and find him.
Whenever I ask you about electricity, you always smile straight away. Most people describing their work don't do that.
Ну, мабуть, я на той роботі, яка мені подобається. Все. А що може ще, що може заставляти чоловіка улыбатися? Ну, якщо він робить на той роботі, на якій йому подобається працювати, якщо у нього хороша сім'я, все. Я вважаю, що енергетика – це основне, що дає всьому життя, всьому. Весь розвиток всього в країні йде від енергетики. Все йде від енергетики. Любе производство потрібна енергетика. Людям потрібно тепло. Людям потрібно світло.
What are the Russians doing? What are they trying to take by doing all of this?
Свобода. Ми любимо свободу і все. За неї боролись віками, в кої віки ми її отримали. І просто так віддавати вже її, кажеться, ніхто не збирається.
Before we leave the station, I asked my friend Darka what she thinks is going to happen next.
I think many people here, they know exactly that there will be the end and it's going to come soon. They don't know when exactly.
I feel like this could be one of the last opportunities to actually film and show this place still working. Do you feel like that?
Unfortunately, I do. It definitely feels like the last moments, and the things that we are seeing, they might be not seen by anybody else again.
Well, I hope we can come back here. The people here have been amazing to see and to spend time with. Last night at the control room, I keep thinking of everyone. It was really cool.
It was.
As we leave the station and drive through Kramatorsk, we see the same thing everywhere. Just hours after shelling, workers are already back out drilling, welding, repairing gas pipes and power lines, keeping a city at war alive. Before we leave Kramatorsk, April shows me something I've never noticed here before. As the sun drops behind the barbed wire and the dragon's teeth, the city feels still, as if everyone knows what's moving closer, and quietly are holding on to each and every last sunset. All you can hear are birds and the occasional drone.
Holy shit. So you think that was, yeah.
I think it was a drone.
April takes me to her favorite spot.
I was trying to tell friends as well what it's like here.
Like, so different here. It's so normal and quiet and peaceful. It's got that, like, it's a pretty big city here in Kramatorsk, but it's such a small town feel. The people are pleasant. There's so many amazing little bits of scenery and loveliness here. And it's just like you can get lost in your own thoughts and relax. And I love it. I mean, like, I'm a huge fan of willows, okay? And we got like the willows on the thing. And this to me is so picturesque. It's so beautiful. And it is heartbreaking to me because this place has been a safe haven for everybody. I can understand now that I'm here and in this position, I can fully understand why people don't want to leave until it's absolutely necessary.
What I was so shocked about was when I first came to Kramatorsk, I thought it was just this place. I couldn't point it even out on a map years and years ago. And I realized over time through research that Kramatorsk was a destination. It wasn't just a location. Ukrainians used to come from all over the country to rest here. The salt lakes in Sloviansk, the healing properties of the water, the river, the fishing, the pace. It's like in Britain, you would compare it to somewhere in the mountains in Wales or up in the Highlands in Scotland, and it still has that industrial belt of like hard-working families that have loyalty, everyone knows their neighbors. So many people think of places like Kramatorsk as just on a battle map or like a ruined, bombed out industrial wasteland, but the most shocking thing is they're beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I hate leaving every single time.
What makes Kramatorsk is the people. And Russians are trying, and who knows if they will succeed in maybe not taking the city, but killing the city where people have to leave because it's no longer, feasible to live here. Russians are the ones that look at this place as a place that's just on a map, a place to take, to make it theirs. But Ukrainians make this a home. They're the ones who made this beautiful park, and I'm hoping that we won't see an end, but I think that most of us are just preparing for that in a way of preservation of our souls in some sort, you know?
Yeah.
Appreciation of every moment that you're here.
I love lavender.
It's the most amazing smell.
It's like proper comfort.
Mm-hmm.
This is so peaceful.
This is why we're all relaxed. They're doping us with lavender.
Driving out of the city, we pass the salt lakes of Sloviansk, famous for their healing properties. No one uses them now because there's FPVs everywhere. But I stop and take a look because this is probably the last time we can ever see them.
This is the lakes, isn't it, around here? I think it might be the last time I can ever see this.
Probably.
So here it is. I'm going to be very, 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 very quick because there are FPVs everywhere. But this is it. These are the salt lakes. This might be one of the last times it'll be possible to actually film this. Look how peaceful it is. It's beautiful. Oh. Yeah, I got an unnerving feeling there.
On the way out of Donbas, through the trees on the right is Sviatohorsk. It's hard to describe just how beautiful this place is. I was here in 2024 where I filmed this footage. The river winds beneath these enormous white chalk cliffs covered in forest, and carved into the hills is the ancient Sviatohorsk Lavra. Monks have lived in these mountains for centuries. Empires have come and gone around them. But now, the Russian lines are moving closer, and the forests around this church are burning. Along the side of the road, we pass the same petrol station from the start of this film. Just 2 days ago, we watched a drone crash right into it, and somehow, it's already open again. So, we pull in.
This is all burnt out at the back, all completely destroyed. They just got a shovel here, cleaned it up, and it's back open again. Look, there's a guy working here. This was literally on fire yesterday. We were about to fill up here. Absolutely unbelievable.
I asked the workers what motivated them to come in today.
Мир в нашій країні, щоб усе це відновилося і дали нам жити і працювати.
All the workers in this station survived, but sadly, the same can't be said for the one just up the road.
So this is the gas station where a 19-year-old was killed just last week. You can see where the crater is from where the rocket landed and blew everything apart. And it's honestly heartbreaking seeing things like this. You can see the worker's jacket just behind me from everything that's left over from this attack. And the Russians decided that this was what they were going to target, a place where there were teenagers working, a place where people would stop for coffee. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Right at the edge of Donbas is its famous sign.
How much of Donbas do you think is remaining?
Well, I believe last year or early 2024, it was like 18%. So we're probably looking at maybe 12. I don't know.
This is the last stretch, really.
Yeah, this is the last bit. This might be the last bit for everybody.
For 3 years, I passed this sign on the road into Donbas. And over those years, thousands of people have stopped right here. They covered it with tiny pieces of evidence that said I was here. And maybe that is what Donbas has become. Because a place isn't really held by just lines on a map. It's held together in much smaller ways. By the man who gets up and goes back to the power station after it was bombed. By people repairing gas and water while explosions still shake the city. By April staying here when I leave. Russia has been trying to take this place since 2014. That's long enough for children to become adults, long enough for war itself to become part of the landscape. And still, every morning, someone switches the power back on. And maybe that is what hope actually is. Not believing everything is going to be okay, but trying anyway. I've always left Donbas assuming that I'd come back. But this time, I can't quite convince myself of that. Because for the first time, it doesn't feel like the end of just another frontline trip. It feels close to a goodbye. And maybe that is why this battered sign means so much right now. Every name across it belongs to someone who once passed this exact point and continued into the unknown. Some returned, some did not. And maybe that is the hardest thing about all of this. History rarely tells you when you're living through the last moment. One day, there's just a final summer, a final journey home. As I turn west towards Kyiv, April is going to turn back towards Kramatorsk, back towards the war.
Well, it was another great adventure.
It was. I'm so glad we survived. Did you notice a big difference from the last time that you came? How did you feel? Like, truly, I'm there all the time. I feel like I'm complacent, but how do you feel compared to the last?
I just kept thinking back to the first time I was here. It was February 2023. I was driving back and forth from Bakhmut when we were filming civilian evacuations, and I remember Kramatorsk being this place where you'd like breathe out, evacuated to, and it was always like the place where you could just relax. Same at Pokrovsk, and now it's the place you just hold your breath.
I think everywhere that borders where Russians are is under threat right now. They don't have to be here.
It's just uncertain. It's a strange ending.
Many people in this country that are standing in Donetsk Oblast, and they mean it when they say over my dead body. And so I don't know what the future holds and whether or not they will take Kramatorsk or not, but there will be many of us that die saving what we can and defending it for as long as we can.